creating tables, the scale command, chamfer, fillet, and explode commands. So let's first take a look at the spline command. The spline command is in the draw menu. You do the drop down arrow and you choose the first option, and it's a spline fit, which means wherever you click on your screen are going to be locked in points. So I clicked right here. So this curve is going to adjust based off of these items that I select. Okay. So where would something like that be useful? So if I was going to create, let's say I wanted to create a curved step here or a curved pathway from my garage to my steps, I could very easily come in here and select my spline fit. And I could then go ahead and select where I want to start my curve. And again, where I adjust my curve here, here's my into my steps, and then I can continue around to kind of make a nice little wavy pattern for my, let's do one more here, for my flower beds. Whoops, don't hit escape. Let's try that one more time. I apologize. You have to hit enter. Again, here, I'll just take it from here. So I'm just creating a nice little curved path for my flower beds. Let's end it right here. And then right click and enter, or just enter. And then I could select the line command to finish this off. And that creates a nice curved pattern for flower beds. Maybe I'm putting a tree here or something of that nature. You can also choose the line command, and I'm going to show you. Let's say you wanted your spline to follow a certain pattern. Let's just select some other locations here. Let's do about here. I could also use my spline command at each endpoint. So if I know where that curve is going to happen, that change in my curve, I could select those endpoints. Again, don't hit escape. Hit enter. Let's try that one more time. And enter. And now I have a nice curve at each one of those heights there. So I can go ahead and erase that out. And I have this nice curve following those points that I chose. Okay. You could do this with multiple different options. Okay, and that's a great way to create flower beds, which if you look at your activities for this week, you're actually going to use your drawings that you've completed for your assignment this week to kind of play around with and add steps and a flower bed next to your deck, similar to what I have here, but yours is going to be a little more detailed. All right, let's go ahead and change drawings here. And now let's go ahead and look at the table command. So your table command, you can come up here and go to your annotate, and you'll see your table command here. Or from your home menu, you'll see your table here in this annotation tab. So if I just select my table, you're going to see you have a lot of options that come up. So this is where you're choosing the number of columns. Right now it's set for 5. Remember, 5 columns are the up and down, the vertical. How many rows that you want. Right now it says 1, so let's put 3 rows. You can select the height of everything. You can make the first row a title, which is this right here. So if you wanted to do parts list, and then your second row would be the actual information, or let's say we're doing a window and door schedule, you could type in window door schedule, and this would be like description, size, location, and that would be your header, and then the data that you're going to enter. But you can also come in here and change it if you wanted your title at the bottom and then your header, or if you don't want any at all. You can also change, again, the width of your cells as well. So we're just going to leave it as 5 columns, 3 rows, select OK. And then wherever I click is where that's going to go. And now you can see I can go ahead and edit whatever I want in here. And there's my header. There's my rows. I can come in here and make any change very similar to what you would see in a Word document. You can insert rows, you can delete rows, you can merge 2 rows together. You can change the type of data that's put in there. So if it's going to be currency or a date or just a regular number, which is general, percentage, again, it works very similar to what a Word document table or an Excel table would. You can add formulas. So for example, let's say you were doing a table and you wanted to keep track on your table with your window and door schedule, the cost, you could create a cost cell as well, like how much it is, and then total that up. Okay. So that's how you enter a table. Once you're off your table, just to edit it, all you have to do is select it, and it's highlighted. This is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. Remember, we had 3 rows because we had a title, and then we had our data rows were the 1, 2, and 3 here, or 3, 4, and 5, and then 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's how you add a title. Scaling is something that you should get used to using. So let's say I created a rectangle here and I wanted to make it larger. I can go to my scale command, and we're also going to do stretch too. Sorry, scale. I can select it. Notice we have the two, like the dots on the corner. Hit enter, specify my base point. I'm just going to select the center of my rectangle. And again, see how I'm just manually making it larger, or you can actually type in a number 2 times as large. Stretch allows you to stretch a portion of whatever you drew. So I'm going to select whatever is going to be in this green is what's going to stretch. Select your objects, hit enter, and I'm just going to use that as my base point. See how I can stretch that out as large as I want. So like if you were on your foundation plans, or when you guys get ready to do your first floor plans this week, and let's say you needed to stretch something out. So let's look at this here. So let's say this was the wrong measurement. Let's say it was supposed to be 16 feet, not 2 inches, but 16 feet, 4 inches. I could choose the stretch command. Everything that's in here, you want to make sure you have all the parts of the lines that need to be stretched. Hit enter, select a base point, and then I can just stretch this straight out. Just make sure I'm on the horizontal and add 2. And now I have my 16 feet, 4 inches. So I stretched all that out. You do have to be careful because, again, you want to make sure that you have everything, because if I just had this corner and not this down here, notice it's not stretching this piece. But if I have all of this together, notice that moves with me. So whatever you want to actually stretch is what you have to be careful with that you're doing. Let's get back to where it's supposed to be. So that is your scale and your stretch command. We're going to go ahead and go back to our drawing here, and we're going to look at chamfer, fillet, and explode. The first one I'm going to do is explode, which is right below your eraser here. Right now, since I created that as a rectangle, this is a polyline all the way around. Let's say I wanted to erase just one line or a portion of what we're doing. Let's get rid of our table here. Just because it keeps popping up. Okay, so let's say we want this line individual. I can go up to explode, and I can select my polyline and hit enter. And now each one of these is an individual line, and that's the explode command. I have an option of fillet and chamfer are on the same little menu here. So we're going to do fillet first, and then we'll go to chamfer. So fillet, we're going to select, and what that does is allow you to round corners. So instead of having to do tangent, tangent, radius in this case, let's say you want this to be a 1/4 inch round here, instead of having to come here and go tangent, tangent, and putting 0.25, and then having to come in and trim, what we can do is we can go to fillet. And the first thing you have to do is set your radius. So we're going to right click and choose radius. And I'm going to put that 0.25 in. And now whatever I select as far as my corners, it's going to go ahead and select and create that curved portion. It's a one-time thing, so notice that we're no longer in a command. I can right-click and repeat. I don't have to reset my fillet unless I'm changing the size. Now, if you start a new drawing, you would have to change and add the fillet. Okay, let's go ahead and erase my circle here. And now let's do our chamfer. I'm going to go ahead and select chamfer. And notice it says first line. So we're going to go ahead and select our first line. Notice it says second line. I'm going to select my second line and nothing happens. Just like our fillet, we have to make sure that we set our standard or what we want it to do. And chamfer is basically like cutting the corner off or sanding the corner off. So I'm going to do my chamfer here command. Notice that we have some options, and I came down here at the bottom so that you can see. You can do distance, you can do angles. So if I chose distance, so it says the first chamfer distance is 0.000. So let's make that 0.5. And our second chamfer distance, let's leave it 0.5. And now we choose our line. So just like your fillet command, you have to set that distance first. So basically the first line that I chose from the corner from here to here is 0.5, and from here to here is 0.5. Let's go ahead and undo. And let's do our chamfer command again. And again, I'm going to do distance, or I could type in distance, or right click and do distance. My first chamfer, this time we're going to leave it 0.5. And my second chamfer, let's make it a longer line. Let's make it 1. And so my first line, and then my second line. So whatever I chose first, that first line is at ½ inch. That second line is a full inch. So that's how I place it in using distances from the corner. We can also do, I'm just showing you the most common, is we go chamfer. This time I'm right clicking so you can see undo, polyline, distance, angle. It's the same options you have down here on your command line. So this time we're going to use angle. And notice it says specify chamfer length on the first line. Let's go ahead and use our ½ inch again. And now it's saying the angle. Let's choose 45. And select my first line and my second line, and there you go. So I have my ½ inch, and it's a 45-degree angle. So let's do this one more time with different numbers. Select our chamfer. We're going to go to angle. This time I'm going to do, let's go ahead and put 1 inch, and let's put our angle at 30. And let's select our first line and our second line. So again, first line, that's 1 inch. And then from that line here, that angle right here, let's actually add this line here. That line right here, the angle right here between those two lines, it took away the inch, and now it's at a 30-degree angle. And that's how you do the chamfer command.